Meeting order. And Trina, want to do roll call?
Mayor Parker?
Here.
Mr. Jacobs?
Here.
Mr. Trackhoff?
Here.
Mr. Landuse?
Here.
Essel?
Sir?
Mr. Leonard?
Here.
Lee?
Here.
Mr. Putney?
Here.
And Mr. Trout?
Here.
Patras?
Is it Trout or Patras? Patras.
Neither.
Very just thinking about that too much. Well, just thinking about that
Tomorrow might be something different.
Ms. B.
I like my fancy.
I've worked.
Adequate notice of this meeting of the Bedminster Township Landing Board was filed with the Township Clerk and sent to the Burnsville News, Burnsville, the Courier News, Somerville, and to all such drivers and posted at the Township Municipal Building, 1 Miller Lane, Bedminster, New Jersey, on January 9, 2017.
Stand for the flag salute, please.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, I don't think we have any minutes. We have some correspondence, and I guess, whoops, excuse me. Tom, I guess you want to talk about that from the Cancer Support Community?
And that was in 2015. And they would like to request that the approvals from April 2015 be extended for an additional 12 months. And he explains it in the letter. And generally speaking, I just would recommend the extension to you. It's very straightforward, that it is difficult to get such extensions. It's very simple. If the board had any questions, we can go over that.
Yeah, there's several board members, I guess, that
You
were,
don't have to have been involved in it.
yeah, right, that's what I'm going to say.
It's not the prior application, it's just about whether something that was approved by the board is continued to be vested against changes in ordinances. And this was an interesting site plan. Basically, they added a second supplemental barn structure. They're going to add one to the back of the property and be able to provide more services.
I don't remember, was that a Board of Adjustment or was,
Board of Adjustment.
was it? I didn't remember whether it was, okay.
2015.
Okay, so I guess we need a motion to approve the extension?
Motion.
Second.
I'll be the second.
Roll call. Motion by Nick, second by,
Was Board of Adjustment?
I don't remember.
I think it was Planning Board, because wasn't that the Wellness Center?
No, I
It-
think it was Board of Adjustment.
The Cancer Support is the Wellness Center.
Right.
Was that the
I
little,
think
the
that-
little
That's the block.
Yeah, I think
little
it was-
structure
I think
right
it
off
was-
Burn Mills?
Yes, it was, I think it was
That
was planning board.
So we're in.
That was planning board.
Yep, and it says on the resolution,
Yeah, let's just check. It's on the resolution, so that's what it is.
C variance, site plan exception.
Oh, it does say D variance though, so it is, that would mean it was the zoning.
That's what I thought. I remember that.
The board sitting at,
Was that
Yeah,
D?
C variances.
yeah, the D, I think, was, they got to do with FAR or enlargement of the pre-existing.
Yeah.
It says land use, but, I mean, it says planning board, but it's,
Yeah, but it's D and C variances, which
Yeah,
makes
D
it,
variance
Would make it
makes it
zoning.
make it zoning. Mhm.
sitting at.
paid attention.
Right.
Aye.
Mr. Landuse?
Aye.
Mr. Leonard?
Aye.
Mr. D?
Aye.
Ms. Sutton? Mr.
Aye.
Putnam?
Aye.
Making you a woman.
Please.
She's making me nervous before I even.
Ellen answered the most anything, so not to worry.
I was going to give you a hard time.
Ms. Patras? And Ms. Gutschall?
Aye. Motion passed. The next thing we have on the agenda is the master plan amendment. Again, I guess, Frank, you're going to talk briefly about that?
Madam Chair, that this is a public hearing.
Yeah, okay.
Draft master plan amendment, and we'll open to the public, but before we do that, it'd be good if Greg, Banish, our planner, summarize it for you. It's available for your questions and comments.
And I'll try to do that expeditiously. This is the public hearing, so even though we've talked about this before, I'll just, for the record, indicate that we're creating a new OR1 Office Research Corporate Suites Zone. It's located on the property formerly referred to as Bedminster 2, south of Route 78, west of Route 202-206. And you'll see on the map, attachment A indicates the location of the parcel, which is also identified as Block 7101, Lot 1. And what's proposed here is an expansion of the range of permitted uses beyond those that are included in the office research category to allow a hotel and/or corporate suites as a form of accommodation that is viewed as beneficial to the local economy in the area and local residents who might have a need for people to come and stay for a while. So there's an expansion of the permitted uses to include those two uses. There was a finding that the zone was well situated to accommodate these uses. And if you would enact the master plan amendment, zoning ordinance would be modified to provide for this. I'd be happy to answer any questions if you have any.
Does the board have any further questions on this? No? I'll open it up to the public then. Please come up.
Format this evening, we swearing to
Yes,
inquire.
You swear affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Brian Haggerty, swear to tell the truth, the whole truth. Yes. All right, thank you.
State your name.
Brian Haggerty, Bester, Fairview Drive. Thank you. I'm a bit disturbed by the process, and I have some questions for the board and perhaps you pass through to your consultants. At the February 8th meeting, as I recall, that was when some appointments were discussed to a committee or a mission, a subcommittee that was going to study the master plan. And as far as I know, there's been no public announcement about a meeting of that body yet at this time. And here we are, quite 2 months, I'm sorry, 1 month later, with a change in the master plan in a hearing that I was lucky enough somebody pointed this out to me that it was tonight. I would have missed it. It seemed like nothing. There was a settlement discussion at the February 8th meeting. I read afterwards the resolution to have a settlement letter of a lawsuit, which hasn't been mentioned here. So the question comes back to, why does action seem so precipitous to change the master plan when we're about to embark on a study of whether to change the master plan, and is very directed at one specific thing? Am I misperceiving the precipitous nature of this decision or the link to a settlement of a lawsuit?
There is a difference between the global review of our master plan that will go on with that subcommittee that was announced and this action tonight. Much like a governing body may have a transfer of funds midway through the year without having a complete review of their budget. So this is not connected to the global review of the master plan specifically. To your
I'm
question
neglected to
about-
say I'm not representing the Board of Education. You indirectly reminded me. Thank you.
or the township committee or any government body has.
I'm not on the township committee. I don't have to disclaim that one.
But I am, so.
Okay. Is there a link between this action and the settlement motion of the lawsuit?
Yeah, this implements the settlement.
Mhm.
The settlement envisions the addition of this type of use to the OR1 zone as proposed from this master plan amendment. But the
Thank you.
planning board is not a party to this.
Okay, so the role in,
We don't need to talk about a lawsuit.
okay,
The planning board is not a party.
the one purview of the land use board in this matter then is apparently the township committee requested. I don't,
The township committee and the planning board work together. Only the planning board does the master plan.
so would this be final or,
The plan, sorry, you have to let me answer, I'm sorry.
can you go back? I'm confused by your answer. Yes, I'll be patient.
The first document for the master plan amendment is the planning board's document, only the planning board. Township committee, all governing bodies throughout New Jersey, none of them are the master plan. Only the planning board does that. Only the planning board can do a master plan amendment, but they can do a master plan amendment anytime after public notice of the master plan amendment hearing. This master plan amendment document recommends the draft ordinance that only the township committee, the governing body, can adopt the ordinance on the planning board. So, that helps you, and they do not have to be done after the global master plan amendment, or the global new update of the master plan, or the global review of the master plan. The master plan amendment like this, and they have to notice. And so that's what's being proposed tonight, and I'd like to give us any input on the master plan amendment. Now's the time to do that.
Tom.
So I'm actually able to make comments as well as ask questions?
While we're here.
Okay, so our last question in that case then is, this matter then returns to the township committee for the ordinance embodying the change?
This matter doesn't. This was adopted, the master plan amendment, the first document becomes effective quickly
Okay.
by the board action,
Right.
gets submitted to the county planning board, and then it's effective. The ordinance is what it recommends, and the governing body might, after this is amended, governing body might introduce this ordinance and might, after it's introduced, have a public hearing and adopt it. But that'll be up to the township committee.
And that document, which I haven't reviewed, would actually be an ordinance to change the zoning in accordance with what's being discussed tonight.
That's right. Basically, to change the OR zone south of 78, west of 287, and, I'm sorry, east of 287 and west of 202, 206, the Bedminster 2 property area to OR1, and to, as Mr. Banish explained, corporate suites and hotel use in that zone.
Then if it's time to comment, I find this proposed action precipitous, and say that it's being done as part of master plan amendment, I hesitate to use the word disingenuous, because it's really to facilitate a lawsuit settlement. What I don't understand, and now I know I don't have to phrase as a question, bless you, I don't have to phrase as a question. If the lawsuit had a chance of winning, I understand it had something to do with potentially either builder's remedy and affordable housing, or another theory I've heard is it had to do with overly restrictive zoning. If it had a chance of winning, then the settlement may just be encouraging the same, or maybe that would have been, the threatened use would have been better than this. We haven't really talked about that. And if it had no chance of winning, I see no reason why to do this. Allude to another governing body. I have personal knowledge I can't discuss, but one might think it might sometimes be worth spending more money to avoid than it would take to cost settlement, because you're opening a floodgate on something. And that's all I have to offer, and I have a feeling I'll be seeing you at the Township Committee. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Is someone else in the public that would like to speak regarding this matter? Seeing no one? Anything further from the board? Okay. Excuse me?
We have a Need a motion to close the public hearing?
Yes, that'd be good.
Okay,
I'll move to close the public hearing.
okay. Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Wait, who's the second?
Jeff?
Jeff? Okay.
You have before you a master plan amendment, draft resolution approving the master plan amendment. It's ready to adopt that resolution and approve the master plan amendment effective this evening.
A motion to approve the master plan amendment?
Seconded.
Mayor Parker?
Aye?
Could I,
Oh, sure.
No, you missed your turn, sorry.
well, we got this master plan amendment. Is that what we're?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what you're talking
Because
about.
we have this other thing, which Carol is supposed to sign, which I have a comment on.
Oh, okay. That is, I don't know what you're,
I chopped, it's too long, but.
I don't know,
Ordinance. Is that the ordinance?
don't know what that you're referring
This
to.
says, whereas Township Planner Banish.
The
That's the resolution.
You can change the resolution, Nick, what would you?
Well, my point is in the resolution, I think it's referring to the master plan amendment. And the title is wrong.
So make the title agree with what it says on the document.
Yeah. You want me to mark that up?
I can do it.
Yeah. I mean, just
Yeah, we'll
minor stuff, but
we'll correct it.
and in two places, because it's also.
Yeah, I don't have that either. I don't know what we're,
Should be in there.
oh, maybe, okay, in the green folder,
It
okay,
came in my email.
No, I'm saying.
Yeah,
she has to sign.
okay. Oh, here, okay.
That's it, yeah.
It chopped off. So,
Are the changes on the, are any of
It's
them
not
on the
that,
signature page?
What are the changes?
no.
Alright.
There are just
You
a-
can just tell me what they are then.
We'll correct the,
Carol, you can still sign it as long as they're not on the signature page.
Yeah, okay. What was the changes, Nick? You have them there?
Well, if you read this title
Yes.
and the title in this document, they're not the same.
right?
I see.
The title of the resolution, or the reference to the resolution will be revised to reflect the title of the
Oh,
document.
that's
Then they'll be consistent. That was the only problem.
Okay,
right.
all right,
That was our goal.
Okay.
It didn't get to the resolution.
okay, okay.
So the board will entertain a motion to approve the
We
draft
have it.
resolution with the revisions in the correct title of the master plan.
Yeah.
So moved.
Another first and second.
Now, it can be who are the people that moved it?
Larry.
Larry.
They confirm their amendment and a roll call.
Okay.
Mayor Parker?
Aye.
Mr. Vico?
Aye.
Mr. Blackwell?
Aye.
Mr. Rodriguez?
Aye.
Mr. Leonard?
Aye.
Mr. Reed?
Aye.
Mr. Sutton?
Aye.
Ms. Petrus?
Aye.
And did I say it wrong again? I did. You're going to Miss P.
No, not Miss P.
And Ms. Vegetable.
Aye. Okay. This is a time when, if the public has anything to speak about that is not on the agenda. Okay, not seeing any, oh, yes, come on.
Hello, thank you again. Brian Haggerty, Fairview Drive. I asked a question at that February 8th meeting about something that I was then advised that it was really a question for this body, which is when an application before the Land Use Board or the Land Board meeting as the Zoning Board of Appeal continued at the request of the applicant. And there's a determination, excuse me, without further notice. And the applicant continues to ask for deferral, extension, rescheduling. At what point, times, a year, at what point can the board reconsider and just say, why don't we just wait 3 months and advertise again and come back? I know in civil trials, my experience as a juror was, you don't show up enough times as the plaintiff, they just decide you're not serious and let the defendant go. You have to bring it again.
I think that's a good question. Tom?
It's not like a civil trial or a jury. It's a continuing case. And generally speaking, the board has discretion whether or not to carry a notice. Carrying of the notice is very common in pending applications before planning boards and zoning boards. And it worked very well because you can contact the board secretary to find out if a case is being adjourned. And you don't have to come. Sometimes when there's a long delay between meetings, the board will exercise its discretion and say, please renotice. The consequence of that is a notice in a newspaper. So if you're concerned about a particular case, a good idea is to call the board secretary before the meetings and see if anything of your interest to you is on the agenda and is coming back, and maybe whether they've asked for an extension again.
But it's entirely board discretion after a
It's
certain...
board discretion, but I would say to you, it's commonly granted.
Thank you.
Check. Thank you. Okay, we have a determination of completeness for Fresh Market. Mark, are you?
Yeah, that's an amended site plan for an outdoor seating area, and that can be deemed complete, subject to the completeness waivers, and scheduled for the next meeting.
Tom, we actually have to carry notice on that one to the April, they noticed for tonight.
Right.
And you're not able to make it, so they asked to be carried to the April 6th meeting.
Say that date again?
April 6th?
April
6th.
6th.
So, Madam Chairman and board members, that's Fresh Market, right?
Yes.
Okay. I would ask for you to consider a motion to carry the Fresh Market Inc. application and its notices to the April 6, 2017 meeting at 7 p.m.
Do we need a roll call on that, Tom?
You need a motion, a second, and a roll call.
Okay. I have a motion to carry.
Seconded.
Mayor Parker?
Aye?
Mr. Jacobs?
Aye.
Mr. Shrapnel?
Aye.
Mr. Rodriguez?
Aye.
Mr. Leonard?
Aye.
Mr. D?
Aye.
Mr. Zutman?
Aye.
Ms. P?
We're not a letter to the alphabet.
No,
I'm
no.
not trying anymore tonight.
Maybe Miss Ann would be a little bit.
I like that.
I think so.
So we'll just confirm for the record that Fresh Market Inc., if anyone's here on that, that was carried without additional notices to April 6, 2017 at 7 p.m.
Okay, and Lamington Farm Golf Club?
That's for a site plan waiver that also can be deemed complete, subject to the waivers, completeness waivers, and I believe that's the hearing for tonight.
I believe, so we need a motion?
Yeah, this one you do need to have a motion and a second to waive the remaining items for completeness and to deem the application complete. Is there such a motion?
So move.
And a second?
Second.
And a roll call, please, Trina.
Mayor Parker?
Aye?
Mr. Jacobs?
Aye.
Mr. Shrapnel?
Aye.
Mr. Rodriguez?
Aye.
Mr. Leonard?
Aye.
Mr. D?
Aye.
Mr. Zutman?
Aye.
You've now been changed to Miss Ann.
Aye.
And Ms. Gretschall.
Aye. Okay.
Just had like 10 names.
So now we are ready, I think, well, we have, if you have anything else before, but we're ready to do that hearing when you're...
Okay, all right. So, our applicant, would you like to come up?
Good evening, Madam Chair, members of the board. Michael Lavery from the firm of Lavery, Slovakia, and Mike C. Cohen, representing Landuse Farm Club, the Indigenous Health Summit National Golf Course. I have two witnesses with me tonight. I have Mr. Russo from the Trump Organization, as well as Ron Kennedy from Gladstone Design. We're here tonight basically because anytime you want to obtain a construction permit, you have to have site plan approval. I think you'll hear after Mr.
Kennedy's presentation that this is the new patio, the cover on the existing guest cottage is SD golf club.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Lavery. I'll swear in the two witnesses. Gentlemen, please raise your right hand. Do you swear firm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you, and please state your names and at least a business address.
Ronald Kennedy, 265 Main Street, Gladstone.
Ed Russo, 900 Lamington Road, Bedminster, 279 Golf Club Drive, in Key West.
Thank you, gentlemen. And the board recognizes and accepts the qualifications of Ronald Kennedy as a professional engineer and professional planner and other categories that we don't need those tonight.
So, I'll just give you a quick overview. Obviously, we're asking for a site plan waiver on, Trina, is this one?
Should be. I turned it on.
Yeah.
I'm asking for a site plan waiver. It's to do with just literally a 500 square foot patio that happens to be covered as a terrace and then a walkout terrace above that. And by your definition, anything over 4 foot in extension of any overhang at all counts as FAR. So floor area ratio, it's additional lot coverage, the whole thing's 500 square foot, but requires site plan approval based on the requirements of a non-residential structure. So in this case, I have 2 exhibits here. It's just A1 and A2. A1 is what's in your plans. It's Cottage 5 addition site plan rendering. And that's just a blown up area around the pool complex where the existing barns are on the property. And then I have another exhibit, A2, with elevations. That date is 2/4/17, sheet A5. That is not in your package. I think that Mr. Banish asked for an elevation of that in his comments letter, so I'm adding that. It's prepared by Edward O'Brien, architect.
I'm sorry, Mr. Kennedy, but the title of the A1 is site plan what?
A1 is just cottage number 5 addition site plan rendering.
Thank you.
And again, if you remember the historic shape of the barn complex is a U. In that U from the original application, pool went in the center for the golf course. Around the perimeter in those buildings, we've converted a series of those spaces into various cottages. And they've had all approval for many years with this board. The cottage number 5, which is located in this case in the upper part of this exhibit, that cottage has space that goes outside to an existing door right now. That's on the right side of this exhibit, 2 grade. On the left side of that same of the building, the proposal is to put a patio and then above it a porch. Porch above goes to the master bedroom. Patio below, there'll be 2 new doors, one a patio door and one a regular door that would go out to the patio. It's as simple as that. Exhibit A2 shows those elevations. So in this line on the top panel of this elevation is that line I'm just pointing to on the exhibit. Again, the porch is in this location here, comes out at the first floor. There's an overhang, and they come out on a deck on the second floor. On a side elevation, again, that living and dining room on the first floor. Here's the patio, and then above it the porch. There'll be dormers there's currently 2 dormers, and then there'll be an infill between those 2 dormers. They'll come out to this deck above. The proposal itself is a disturbance of 500 more additional square foot. Any of the requirements for your zoning ordinance from a setback standpoint, from a floor area ratio standpoint, from a lot coverage standpoint, will all comply with your ordinance. So we're not asking for any relief associated with that. All those those zoning standards will be met, and the total increase is approximately 500 square foot. That's the gist of my presentation. It's that simple. We're asking for a site plan waiver. It's allowed in your ordinance if it's de minimis. We feel obviously on this context of this larger piece of property, it's had thorough review with this board over quite a number of years. And what we're asking for, it's not adding new density to the property. It's not adding more rooms, nor bedrooms, more golf holes. It's just this patio addition.
Okay. The board have any questions?
I have a question, Mr. Kennedy.
Yeah.
What is the reason for this? Why this property, why this structure, why this cottage?
May I see that? Again, my name is Ed Russo. I'm here on behalf, I guess this is the first time I'm going to introduce myself differently in 15 years. I'm here on behalf of the Trump family and the Trump organization. The purpose of that is to provide safety and security to the guests of that dwelling. And I think I should leave it at that.
Anybody else on the board? Professionals?
Just, Mr. Kennedy, I just want to confirm that you have said, but I just want to have you repeat it, that the proposal is consistent with all of the ordinance standards, including the conditional use standards for the golf course and the accessory guest housing at the golf course.
Yeah, nothing, this application or this site plan waiver, we're asking for changes any of the standards by zoning standards or the design standards associated with the golf ordinance.
Frank? No? Okay. Open up to the public. Have any questions or comments? Seeing none, I guess we can have a motion for approval of the additional deck.
The board is ready. If the motion to approve the site plan and conditional use approval for this addition of the deck, patio, standard conditions, and comply with the review reports.
Need a motion?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
Mayor Parker?
Aye.
Mr. Jacobs?
Aye.
Mr. Blackwell?
Aye.
Mr. Rodriguez?
Aye.
Mr. Leonard?
Aye.
Mr. Dees?
Aye.
Mr. Duffy?
Aye.
Ms. Ames?
Aye.
And Ms. Gutschall?
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Good night.
Thank you.
Mr. Later, would you like to be effective this evening so that you can proceed immediately if you'd like to get building permits, et cetera?
Yes.
Okay, so the board would entertain it customarily on small matters like this, recommend to you and you might consider a motion to determine that the approval is effective tonight, subject to compliance with all the standard compliance requirements of the township, permits, et cetera.
Do I hear another motion?
And then we'll call again.
Second.
Who is the second?
Second.
Thank you. Mayor Parker?
Aye.
Mr. Jacobs?
Aye.
Mr. Blackwell?
Aye.
Mr. Rodriguez?
Aye.
Mr. Leonard?
Aye.
Mr. Dees?
Aye.
Mr. Duffy?
Aye.
Ms. Ames?
Aye.
And Ms. Gutschall?
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Tom.
Yep.
Quick.
You're ready for that application.
Yeah, but he didn't try to impress anybody. That was good.
I had to pay Rudolph to ask the question. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Bye, Ed.
See you again.
Take care.
See ya.
Mhm. Okay, I think we need to assign some dates to some of these applications. Is that what we're doing here?
It's pretty much assigned as of right now. Paul
Okay.
will go over the New York essay as well as the Kennedy Prize Union next week, at next week's meeting. Those are, as of right now, deemed incomplete, and they have submitted more documentation that Paul is doing, so he said today that he would go over that. next
Okay,
week.
okay.
Fresh Market, we just carried to
April 6th, uh-huh.
Bedminster 2 funding is supposed to be on for next week. I just received today, during the letter from their attorney, so they will not be here next week. So the only application that we will have on next week will be, the SST 100. It was a
Broom.
application.
Mhm.
Yes.
Okay,
And Landuse Road LLC is carried to April 13th.
okay. Thank you. So I guess we need a motion to close unless there's anything else? Is any, yes, board comments? Yes?
I just want to mention that I was contacted by a reporter from the Washington Post
who was doing an article about Trump businesses with a focus on their golf courses, and was asking me about the two hearings we had on the cemeteries that were being proposed. And so I just went over what we did. And then he asked why I voted against the small cemetery, and I said that was because I thought it might become an attractive nuisance, which is what I said here at the time. And also, I was not present for the second cemetery vote, so I have no opinion on that. So that's really the focus of his meeting. Like 10, he actually came to the house and chatted.
Who was it?
Pardon me?
What was the name of the reporter?
I
His name is David something. David something.
Right. So, thought I'd mention that.
Okay. I guess we need a motion to close. That's it. We're finished unless anybody has anything else to say.
So moved?
Second?
Second?
Second.